We about to listen to Dustin, the writer and director of Tapehead, is coming at you so soon. Right now. We getting it.
All right.
Yeah, I love this podcast.
You know, me and Taylor have been starting this whole thing where I mentioned to him a couple weeks ago. We just had a talk after we finished an episode, um, just about kind of creating this like backyard horror type
Yes.
feel. You know what I mean? Where it's like
Mhm.
it's not
It's not-
quite
it's not-
home video, but it's not necessarily because indie filmmaking is such a wide range, right? It's like
Right.
you can go from absolutely no budget to fucking, $150,000 and it's still low budget. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's this weird, category where I feel like not everybody is represented as well as they should be.
I feel you. Yeah, exactly.
You know?
I'm with you.
It just feels like, you could say low budget, but what's $200,000 to a movie,
If I had $200,000, you better believe
Oh,
I would fucking change the world with
oh my God,
$200,000.
I fucking guarantee you would, dude. And that's the difference where I look at what you've been doing and the stills you've been posting and even with the first short film, and then turning that into something that's completely, just levels above what you did with the first one. Just doesn't, there's no category to kind of put that in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, we're gonna create our own category. So
yeah, absolutely, dude.
I will fucking ramble all about that for
Dude,
you.
that's what I'm fucking talking about, man. And that's where I'm coming in with me and Taylor talking. I said to him, I'm like, there's this weird backyard garage horror that people aren't talking about, where people are making these insanely amazing creative films,
but they're just
and
not filmed like you.
they're
would
not
see-
they're yeah
No.
they're not I'm sorry, Taylor, but they're not categorized as that indie film or these fan films and these things. They're just not in the same category. It's
Yeah.
this weird thing, and I feel like they need more recognition. And
Yeah.
and you were that one filmmaker, director, writer, whatever you want to call yourself,
Yeah.
all of it, where it's just not being touched on enough
Well,
with other podcasts and other news outlets, whatever it is,
Yeah.
it's not being talked about enough because you're not getting $80,000 to $100,000 on Indiegogo or whatever it is,
Exactly.
It's this whole new thing that no one's talking, this whole outlet that no one's talking about because it's a wicked low budget.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like it's a different genre almost.
Yeah, it definitely is. Like I kind of classify it like like they say trauma is like punk rock, and I'm like, if trauma's punk rock, then like what we are is we're like garage band punk rock. We're the guys who can't get into the venue. So we're throwing house parties, and we're still making money and selling albums. Like, so it's kind of like that nasty, like, a tape that gets handed down to you and then like you hand it down to another buddy. And like, it's just like that weird, it's like the video store era of like, some weirdo behind the counter being like, dude, you don't know about fucking Cannibal Holocaust? Well, check it out. Like, but we're not, like not on the budget of Cannibal Holocaust, but like just that weird, like,
Attack of the Killer refrigerator, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So like not like I don't want to throw shade, but like not quite like not as low budget as like Wild Eye, like, but not as high budget as Terrifier. So there's like this weird, right there in the middle.
There's that tweener phase where like nothing's getting talked about because they don't have the fan funding that these fan films are having. I said quote
Yeah.
unquote. I don't even know why I'm doing quote unquote, but fan films, you know what I mean? Where they have, because we talked to Vincent, and this is no shade toward Vincent, because Vincent is an incredible filmmaker.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave us, when we did we just dropped the episode today, and I mean, the amount of information he gave was incredible.
It's crazy.
Incredible.
Crazy.
I mean, we talked maybe 3 minutes throughout the entire episode. He was just force feeding us fucking all this information. And as a filmmaker, or a starting filmmaker myself, it was so cool to just kind of be a sponge and take all that in.
You are a filmmaker. You've done it. So
Right.
you don't have to say like aspiring or starting. Like, you just are a filmmaker, and it's just keep going and yeah.
That's the difference, though, right? I feel like and this is no shade toward Vincent, like I said, but he's at a different level where, his Never Hike Alone has almost 4 million views on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's insane.
Yeah.
So I look at him as like your level is even what he thinks of himself. It's above that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's cool to why I was so excited to have you on is because you have just taken the approach you've taken with Tapehead is such a cool approach, man. It really is, dude. The stills you've put out, the short film you put out, I mean, incredible, dude. I mean, look at that bust behind you. Like, incredible, dude. Like, such a good idea, first of all. Incredible. And you have your family involved, your friends involved. And I mean, getting Drew is incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know if you listened to that episode at all, but when we had him on, he just had nothing but amazing things.
I cried. I cried like a baby.
Yeah. Amazing
yeah.
things to say about you, dude, because he's that same type of way. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Where I think he really looks down and says, because he's on another level too. I mean, Pool Party
Mhm.
Massacre is just fucking amazing, dude. Like, the ending of that movie.
But he's humble though. Like he wants
yeah.
to he wants to jump in and do these smaller films, you know.
Absolutely. And I think
Absolutely,
I think the humbleness comes from him not knowing how good he actually is. Like, the ending of Pool Party Massacre is fucking brilliant. It's such a good film, dude.
Yeah, I'm ready for part 2, big time.
Oh,
too.
fuck,
I'm like holler if you need you need me to carry lights or whatever. I'll come out to Vegas and hang
do
out.
anything. And that's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. The brilliance and the knowledge of being like, hey, I'll be a part of whatever.
Yeah, you need me to pop popcorn for like to put in the green room. I'm down.
Just to contribute to anything that's going on within this style of horror is such a cool thing, and it's just not being talked about enough. And what you're doing with Tapehead, dude, is so cool. Do you guys have like a release date, or what are you guys aiming for?
Late May or early
Nice.
June.
Nice.
And like, because we didn't want to rush it. That's what happened with the first one. Is we shot it, and I before we even shot a frame, I was like, you know what, it'll be out on Halloween. So I like shot myself in the foot with that, with us editing this whole thing, and then like then we were like, well, these scenes don't cut together. Hey, Mikey, how about you draw a bunch of fucking comic book panels? Like and
Right.
so then he had to draw all that shit, and it was like, we ran out of time. So with this movie, I was like, I don't know a release date. And then like we're so far in the edit, I was like, yeah, maybe May, maybe June, and then because there's some distribution that there's some places that I want to look at to see if maybe they want to give us distribution. There's, lawyer stuff and like a whole bunch of stuff that like I'm super new to. So I don't want to like firmly give a date and then miss it. And then people be like, oh, you said May 13th or whatever. Maybe like, well, yeah, but the special features weren't done or, whatever. So, should be early June at the latest, fingers crossed, so
Awesome.
What are you releasing it on?
It's going to be VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray. So
Nice.
I'm going to do a limited run of VHS because we were going to do that with the first one. We just never got around to it. And then like by the time that we were able to, it was like, it's a little too late, you know? So like, and I like the first tape head. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I have to say something before I forget it. How do you purchase it? Like, have you ran anything to, like, is it an Indiegogo? What's going on here?
We did have an Indiegogo and we failed miserably. So, yeah, we'll have a web store link because we have I don't know what the fuck that thing's called, where like you have all of your links together.
Like
Linktree or something.
Linktree, yeah, I have a Linktree with like our our merch and then like our DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff. So there'll be a merch store somewhere, and then I'll it's like linktree.com/tapehead movie or something. So
cool. Yeah. Dude, by the way, you're not the first one to be like Indiegogo failed miserably.
So here, that's the thing. Like we set a goal for $20,000 because I was like, we shot the first one for $5,000. If I had $20,000, you better fucking believe I'm knocking people for a loop.
Absolutely, dude. Because like $5,000, I'm sorry to cut you off, but like,
no, you're fine.
$5,000. I mean, a lot of that goes to cast, fucking,
and eating, and
you know what? Like food and fucking all this crazy shit that you don't understand goes into a movie.
What about that? What about that? The whole mask, the hands, everything else. Tell us about that too. After you finish your statement, you were just talking about.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. So we set that goal, $20,000, and like no matter what, I just felt like social media was like suppressing us. We weren't like getting any reach, and like at the end of the campaign, we had made like $6,000 and some change. Well, Indiegogo takes like a 30% cut, gone. So that like knocked us basically back down to the budget of the short for the feature. And then my wife and I kind of like scrimped and saved and then like kind of borrowed some money from some people. And we were able to get like another 2,000, 2,300, something like that. So we shot this whole feature on a little over $7,000. And
wow,
like, that was a struggle, and there were things I had to cut out because I was like, I wasn't able to purchase that thing or do that big thing that I wanted to do. And so it kind of got, not neutered, but you know what I mean? Like it got trimmed down a bit to make the money work. And, it was just like, so I'm like, if I could have $20,000, $30,000, I could really, really make something, I don't know, like on par with the stuff that you would buy at Walmart. I feel like that, but I'm also still very green, and I don't know, I'm still a rookie in this, but I think me and my crew could make something super fucking nasty for that kind of money. But I don't know.
I guarantee you could, man. Just from the people we've talked to, and they've had the same struggles with Indiegogo where, it's almost kind of a blessing that you somewhat, in your words, failed with it because I mean, dude, it's a whole nother aspect of filmmaking where, especially with fan films, obviously you're not a fan film, so you're already starting at a level where like most people aren't,
Mm-hmm.
You do a Friday the 13th fan film, or you do a Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan film, or like Smitty did with Valentine Bluffs with the whole My Bloody Valentine fan film. Even with that, it's a lower, it's kind of a cult following, but you're
but
still
it does have a built-in fan base for sure.
Absolutely. And just from them talking about their Indiegogos, it's a whole nother aspect of filmmaking that you're not ready for.
Mm-hmm.
From what I've learned, and they might say differently, but this is just my opinion from what I've talked to, who me and Taylor have talked to is it's a whole nother aspect. It's a lot of pressure because you're fulfilling these perks and all this kind of stuff, and you're trying to make the fans happy. So it's this whole, never mind trying to make a great movie, right?
Yeah.
Or the best movie you can make, you also have to make the fans happy by where you film, your location, what you film with, what you're sending back to them for funding their movie. is an incredible amount of pressure.
Yeah, it's a lot to deal with, and because you got people, you have to exceed their expectations
Yeah.
immediately before you even shot anything. So
So
um,
I've not even watched, and that's what I was just doing just now. I've not seen anything but pictures. I didn't even know.
Taylor,
Excuse
that's all you got to fucking see, dude, because I'm telling you,
Well, that's what I was just saying. Like I just watched the. I guess you released a trailer, what, a year ago,
and it's
yeah,
fucking brilliant, dude.
dude. I
Brilliant.
just watched it right now.
It's
That is
brilliant.
fucking sick, dude. Like
Fucking
this
brilliant, dude.
is so cool.
His use
I
of
appreciate
color,
it.
his use of color and color grading is
Well,
fucking insane.
what? So, let's. I want to jump into this. Let's talk. Is it Victor Crowley? What's your look? What'd you go off
Yeah,
of? Because
dude, Victor Crowley is such a good fucking dude, perfect, because that's what he's. I'm not speaking for you, Dustin, by any
You're all
means,
right.
but I'm saying like that slasher aspect with the even with your background right now, dude, the purple, like that instill so much purple in your fucking movie, dude, that like it just looks so fucking brilliant. And like,
I appreciate that, man.
dude, I'm
I
not even trying to blow smoke up your ass, man. I'm telling you, like I've been making a movie right now, Devils Are We, and you were putting out shit, and I'm like, fuck, like this fucking guy is just like at first I was like, I'll be honest, I was like, this guy's fucking crushing, dude. Like I don't know how to take this. And
I
then
just
I started to look at it like this is an inspiration to me. Like this is what I want to do. Like your style of filmmaking
yes.
is fucking awesome, dude. And the just the artistic flow you're going with is something that I fucking love, dude. Your color grading especially. You know, I know I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, your wife is she DP or
Yeah. Oh yeah.
okay,
100%.
I was gonna say, yeah. Brilliant. I fucking A, man. Brilliant
So
job, dude.
like our whole thing is, I don't like things to look boring. You know, I cannot stand like flat lighting,
Yeah.
no use of shadows. And so like it was like a running gag when we were shooting the movie, because I always had fog everywhere. And so every actor would be like, here he is with this fucking fog, wants more fog. Like there's never enough fog on set. And I'm like, there's not. Like I want fog.
Fuck
Blue
yeah, dude.
blue equals nighttime, like the 80s. 80s
Yeah.
horror movies, everything had that deep dark blue and shadows. Like case in point would be like the first Nightmare on Elm Street in the alley when Freddy stretches his arms out.
yeah.
Now,
Like
did you
that's
actually
mine.
did you actually shoot at night?
Oh yeah, we did. We
Okay.
shot a lot of night stuff, but like everything was lit blue when it was nighttime.
Fuck yeah, dude.
So like that's and just like green means tape head. So anytime like green color starts to show up, you're like,
Yeah.
I think the monster's on his way or whatever. So
Cool.
but yeah, Victor Crowley.
Fucking cool.
Victor Crowley was a big inspiration. Obviously, I love Adam Green and
So
everything
good.
about him.
So
He's
good.
such a like his style of horror is
Incredible.
it's like perfect for me. Like it's
Yeah.
I'm having a fun time, but the gore is fantastic, and like I enjoy everything that he does. So Victor Crowley was a big influence. So in the first movie, he was very like mongoloidy, very Victor Crowley esque, and with this one, he's been dead, and which is what I wanted to do in the short was he looked like a big bulbous mongoloid, and when he was alive, and then when he came back, I wanted him to be like emaciated and all rotten and nasty, but I didn't have the money. So with this movie, I was like, fuck that, he's coming back rotten and gross with like exposed teeth and little dangles of skin, and he'll be all slimy and gross so the light reflects off him all nice, and so like we really really leaned hard into that like corpse look,
Yeah.
and it's like unnerving whenever Dylan suits up. You're like, yeah, I don't want to stand next to you. Like he actually kind of freaks me out a little bit, which is cool. So yeah.
So who designed the outfit? Like who made it? Or so who designed it? Who made it?
Okay, so
And
CFX.
and did you commission it, or was it something they already had made? Add
So
that as well.
CFX, out of I think they're out of California, if I'm not mistaken. They did the custom paint job and everything on. They did the cowl and the hands, and then the mask, the VHS mask, is still the same mask from the first movie.
Immortal masks.
Immortal did the mongoloid face.
Yeah.
So and I don't want to throw shade to them, but I'm not a big fan of their products, so that's why I went elsewhere. But the VHS mask was created by James Balsamo and Hunter Jackson of Gwar. They made that for me, and they did it for free. But the only issue was, like, if you watch the short, if you watch the first Tapehead, Dylan could not see at all. There's no eye holes. So like whenever he was Tapehead, like we're under the camera, like pushing his butt in the direction of the actor or whatever. Like he's walking, like he's counting steps so he can do his stuff. So with this movie, I said, the VHS is all rotten because it's been in the grave with him. So I immediately gave him an eye hole, which then let me put yellow contacts in his eyes. So he's a little bit more expressive, you know? Yeah. So I just immediately went to like the silhouette and was like, what, you know, because you have to have a memorable silhouette for your killer. So
Absolutely.
we worked really hard on just the look in general to like tighten it up and make it.
And that's a shout out to where you were talking about with your shadows and everything like that with your filmmaking.
Yeah, you got it. Like, I'm a big fan of keeping stuff in the dark, you know, and it's a shame because like my wife and I, we went back and forth on that a couple of times. She'd be like, he looks so cool. It's a shame to like not show him. And I'm like, trust me, like it's worth it to like not show him until like the lightning crash or whatever, you know, like
absolutely.
So you got like the silhouette and you can just see a little bit of light like glimmering off the slime and you're like, I think that guy's gross looking. And then lightning hits and you're like, damn, he's nasty, you know? So like a lot of stuff like that.
You've got something going on, bro. Like
100%.
And I can see the back and forth between you and your wife because both are great arguments where you spend this money, this bulk of money on the costume and the whether it's just the mask or the full bodysuit or what. Did you guys go full bodysuit or was it?
No, he's just the head and the chest and then hands, which go all the way down to his elbows.
So anything you show, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So his arms. So his arms are that big.
Yeah. The actor.
Well, his actor. He's a fucking big dude.
He's a tank. Dylan Weeks plays Tapehead in this movie. He played him in the last movie too, but for this movie, he put on like 20 pounds of muscle, like because he had a year. So he's like, "You want me to bulk up?" And I'm like, "You can get bigger." And he's like, "Yeah."
And it looks like he's into that kind of stuff anyway.
Oh, dude, yeah.
He's commented on, you know, when we had Drew on, because we talked about you quite a bit, Dustin. And I think he commented, and I was like, "Who's this guy commenting about like Tapehead?" Like no one. You know what I mean? Same thing, like probably you're thinking. I'm like, no one knows about fucking Tapehead.
Yeah, I know.
Like, fucking me. You know what I mean? Like, who's commenting about? So I clicked on it. I was like, oh, this is fucking Tapehead. This is fucking Jacob Cobb. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, and he's a big fucking dude. He's a big,
he really
fucking
is,
bro. Hell yeah, dude.
So
that's cool.
And his biggest. Oh, go ahead.
I was just, how tall is he?
Yeah, that's the issue. Like muscle wise, he's massive, but he's only like 5'9" on a good day.
Oh, Taylor!
On the top of it, you know, standing at the top of a hill.
All right, Dustin, I'm gonna be in your next movie. I'm 6'2", bro. So just let me know.
Dude, I'm 5'5", so I'm like right on the cusp of being a midget. So like I'm right there. I'm 5'5", but yeah, Dylan 5'9", but really broad. So like.
Did you do like a lot of upshots, or how'd you kind of film that? Like,
oh yeah, a lot of low angles.
Yeah,
you know, give him like a step stool every once in a while, or a little, you know, like an apple box or whatever. But for the most part, everybody in our movie is fairly like petite. No one else is like muscly. The only like big people that he tussles with really is Drew. And my YouTube buddy Evil Dead Inks comes back and plays a completely different character, and so we just had to, you know, be creative with how we were going to shoot that, and you know, make Dylan look like the bigger one out of the two or whatever. So
Which is probably fairly easy. I'd have to guess when you want, especially if your wife is the DP, you kind of understand
yeah.
like angles and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah, well, and that's the beauty too of shooting in our house, because originally we were gonna rent an Airbnb for like 3 weeks and just have everybody go stay in this Airbnb, and we are gonna shoot like just round the clock shoot this movie. But logistically, it didn't make sense because like people, they're either going back to college or they have kids or they have jobs, and I'm like, I can't expect people to like want to come sleep in some stupid house with me for 3 weeks and play pretend. So
Right.
I talked my wife into like, well, what if we just shoot in our house, so we can do, 2 days on, take a week off, 2 days on, take a week off. And at first she was like, that's the dumbest fucking idea ever, And then eventually she came around like, that might work. Like, so I kind of retooled the script to fit our location, and
Which helps though, because
Yeah.
you know it. Like,
yeah, I know it very well. And then plus it was
Yeah.
like, if I break a wall or a window or whatever, like it's on me. It's my ass. So
yeah.
it's not someone else's property that I got to deal with. But so yeah, yeah. I was
Yeah,
rambling.
I can only imagine asking my wife, "Hey, do you care about this?" And
Yeah.
Well, Taylor, man, he's shooting a short film right now, which is what I've seen is pretty awesome, man. It's very grainy and like that nitty gritty look.
Nice.
And he's got his wife in it as well, so he
yeah,
knows all about that, dude. It's when you get the family involved, man. It's it's
yeah,
cool. It's really cool.
Yeah. That's
Just seeing having your son, play a part in it, and it's just cool, man. Like that's what I love about it, dude. I know I'm being a fucking fanboy, dude, but
it's all good. It's all good. I appreciate it, man.
Dude, I
Yeah.
told you before John, when he was pooping,
you
that,
fucking dick.
that he was wilding out over here. Just
I
fucking
was,
saying.
man. I was even back when I had VHS Mikey on it. We're talking over a year ago now, when he was flying out to help you. He
Yeah.
was kind of talking about behind the scenes. I talked to Mikey for fucking 4.5 hours. He's a fucking awesome dude.
Yeah. He's the
He
man.
is so nice, man. I mean, that guy is. I'm telling you right now, we have him on next weekend. Taylor's gonna have a fucking field day with this guy because Taylor's huge into VHS, and I'm like, there's no better person to talk to.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Honestly,
dude, Dustin, who's doing your VHS?
I've got it bookmarked somewhere. Let me see if I can pull that up.
check it out. While you do that, I'm gonna talk real quick. Sorry.
Okay, you're fine.
That's interesting that you don't like. I just wanted to go into this really quick. That you don't like Immortal Masks products. Was that a personal thing, or was that something where you got the mask and you were just not?
Just product.
Because I
default.
know obviously that probably wasn't commissioned. You used something that they had already made.
Yeah, no, it was. I think the issue is just it's very heavy.
Yeah.
Like it's so top heavy. I bet the mask from the first movie alone.
And it was a
weighs-
full mask,
Yeah.
obviously, right?
I
Like
bet it weighs-
shoulders, a little bit of chest.
Yeah, but that big fucking bulbous brain thing,
Yeah.
like I bet it was 20 pounds, every bit of 20 pounds. And then,
Wow.
and Dylan's sweating in it and like doubling its weight, because
Right.
he's just filling it with water, and it wasn't comfortable. And
That makes me laugh because I literally, this is how much of a fan I am of you. I went to Immortal Masks for my movie because you did.
Oh shit. You
Um,
should have hit me up.
No, well, it was mostly because I went with a half mask because my character in my new movie is a demonic character, and I wrote it in the script to have a robe,
Mhm.
and all that, so I didn't have to buy. I spent $3,000 on this movie,
Yes.
and so the half mask was like $400 or $500, nothing
Yeah.
crazy. You probably spent 6, 7, 8, 9 maybe. I'm not
Yeah.
positive, but I went with half mask, and it was just the quality basically. But
Yeah, they got really good quality. I just was more concerned about Dylan's well-being, you know? And that was kind of the
Right.
deal, was like, it's not like, and he'll never complain. He's the kind of guy who'd be like wear that shit for 12 hours and be like sweating and lose 40 pounds and not even, he'd be like, whatever, you need another take. Okay. But like this time around, I was very conscious. Like, I don't want you wearing heavy stuff. I want stuff that is easy to remove. So if we're, you know, we need to shoot you, we don't have to spend a ton of time getting you geared up. We gear you up in like 2 minutes,
Right.
shoot the stuff, and, you know, for a half hour or whatever, and then get you out of it so you can rehydrate. Like we just did things a lot smarter this time around, because, you know, we were such film virgins, and like that was our film school, making that short. And then this is film school, I don't know, second semester. Cause like we
Right.
learned so much more making this, and it's like, we're ready to do another project in like a year or two once we
Yeah.
tour. And cause I'm going to ride Tapehead, you know, for a couple of years. We're going to hit the convention circuit and
Yeah.
festivals and all that stuff. So
I think you should. Hey, any way we can promote it too, dude. Like, just
Oh, we definitely will.
shoot us an image. It's posted on our page.
hell yeah,
absolutely,
man.
absolutely, man.
Uh,
No,
so-
we're not fucking huge right now, but you know, we're getting some traction. And
hell yeah.
It doesn't matter though. We have nearly 500 followers. Maybe
well,
300
it's
300 of them haven't seen this at all. So
and it's
Right.
growing.
let's
and it's
put it out. You know.
And it's growing every day, man. We're you know, I don't want to toot our own horn, but
No, you guys are doing awesome.
yeah, we're doing some good shit. And you know, we basically started it the way you know, the way you think, I think, you know,
Yeah.
pushing, just wanted to talk to people that have this like-minded, you know, same views, same feeling of this whole like independent horror thing. And it's just cool to put those people on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Spread the word, you know?
Yeah.
We'll just give you recognition for what you've done. Like, you know,
yeah,
you may not feel like you want that, but that's something you need. You need recognition. You need confirmation that, hey, I'm doing a fucking good job.
I agree.
Like,
The
I'm
people
gonna
that
keep it up.
the people that for, you know, the fact what pisses me off, sorry,
Oh,
that-
you're all good.
that is
Fucking
that people
language,
don't
man.
that people don't know about Tapehead. That's what pisses me off. Shit like
Well,
that, you know what I mean? Because
yeah.
it's this is gonna be cool, man. And just seeing the trailer and seeing the short film and where you've come with it is just so cool, man. And I took, you know, I you know, you put out the original Tapehead, and I had put out my short film Worm, and heavily inspired, not the story obviously, but just being like, hey, whatever you make, just fucking put it out there and see how people feel about it, because that's how you're going to learn.
Yeah.
If people
Absolutely.
don't see it, no one's going to learn. And a lot of these bigger, even indie filmmakers still, and this is where I think me and Taylor cut ourselves off, you know, maybe to our own fault, you know what I mean? But to where we say, hey, like, this is where it's different, because
Well, here's the thing, John. It's not different for you. That's the thing. You are doing what you're doing, and you're just as good as Dustin. 100%.
Yeah.
I
that's
bought
a
I
stretch,
bought
but
I bought my mask for my movie for $6 at Goodwill.
Mhm.
I had a camera given to me
Yes.
from my parents that was made in 2000s. Now
Fuck yeah.
I'm not trying to make myself anything, but I'm just saying, John, you are 100% better than what you think you are. So don't let that shit get you down. You know?
Yeah,
Don't-
dude.
don't think-
but I think that's where the cutoff is, right, Taylor? Like, there's a certain aspect, I think, where, or a certain I don't know the word, but like preference, or where like you even with your first project, you're made to be like, you know, your thought the thoughts are like, you should be at this level. And like, you don't know your level until you make a few projects and write
Exactly.
a few
Yeah, that's
stories.
true.
Yeah.
And you don't know what level you're on. Like, I don't think that matters as much as people make it out to be, especially with like some of these bigger budget indie films. Like indie film, that's all I'm saying is indie film is this. That's such a weird term to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's
It's a wide variety.
Yeah,
Of
it's the
things.
variety is bigger than what like professional
'Cause-
or whatever you would call,
because Vincent is indie, right? He what do you say?
which is crazy. Which is crazy.
300 $300,000, I think is what
Like give that dude like if there wasn't the lawsuit, like give that dude the reins to the fucking
yeah.
Friday the 13th fandom. The guy's amazing. Like
So, like-
he shouldn't even be considered indie. Like he's
No.
that good.
So either indie should be considered, what we are,
Mm-hmm.
or it should be
But it's
considered
not.
something
But it's
different,
not. But it's
So
not. That's the
that-
issue.
That's the reason why John and I we were talking that one night, and he was explaining to me that we're like, hey, backyard horror, I'm like, there's millions of fucking kids and people and just in general who just do not know how to raise money. They don't know what they're doing. They have this hand-me-down shit. They buy shit from Walmart. They buy shit from Goodwill. They buy shit from Kmart, wherever, and then they're like, fuck it, I'm gonna make this film literally in my backyard because I can't buy anywhere to film something.
And the
Yeah,
story
well-
and the story's still good.
So, and that's the difference, right? Is, and that's like with us, with our, when we were doing the YouTube stuff super heavy, and that was like kind of my wake up call. Was all I was doing was talking about the genre, and I wasn't contributing to the genre.
Right.
And so I kind of finally was like, I don't want to just always talk about movies. Like let's make one. Let's give it a go,
Fuck
and
yes, dude.
and that's the difference. Is there are a lot of people that, I don't know what the term is. I'll just say like an armchair quarterback. Like, they sit there, their arms are crossed, they're watching a horror movie and they're going, that sucks. I could do it better. I could do better. I could do better.
Right.
But then they never.
What'd you call him? Armchair quarterback?
Yeah, like,
And
you're
that's
just,
fucking
perfect.
perfect, dude.
That's
Yeah,
perfect.
absolutely.
because
Absolutely.
they're not. They like to talk, but they don't like to do. And I'm nobody. I'm a fucking goon who decided to make a movie, but that's just where it's different, is just deciding to do it. Like going through the fire and making the movie by any means necessary because you want to create or you want to contribute to the genre. And like, it's not for everybody. Like people who like $100,000 movies or more will see it and be like, Jesus Christ, I'm not watching a $7,000 movie. But there is an audience of people like us who appreciate that, or who are, involved in that, want to make movies. And so they're, your eyes and ears are already like on the street. You're looking for, like, sure, there's like the big guys, you got like your James Wan or whatever. Like there are new, Romero and whatever. Like we're getting those guys now. But like, I'm cool with being down here and being like the Shenandoah, Iowa version of Don Doler. Like that's, I'm all about like shooting a movie with my buddies. I don't necessarily need like fucking like name actors. I want to hang out with my friends and have fun. And like, none of us are going to win awards because we can fucking act, like, but we're out here having fun and putting in the work. And I like, that's, I don't know, like that's what I want to drive home to people. If anybody takes away anything from Tapehead, is just like, wow, this fucking moron and his wife and his kids made a movie. Like if they can fucking do it, like let me go get my camera. And then they write something, and they like, that's the best thing we could hope for, is a bunch of aspiring filmmakers stop being aspiring filmmakers and just become filmmakers and contribute to the genre.
Absolutely.
Whether it's good or bad, it doesn't matter.
Well, it
Exactly.
doesn't- it
You make
doesn't-
something stupid. You're never going to make, like, like an honest opinion, I hate the Tapehead short. Like I hate it. But I had to start somewhere. You know what I mean? Like I had to make something. We had to write something. We had to shoot something. And that's what kind of like spawned this one. Was like, I got done making it, and the whole time we filmed that short, I thought, man, I'm making a scary movie. And then we got into the editing room and I'm like, oh, we all dressed like Alvin the Chipmunks, and like none of this cuts together and it's fucking silly. And I went, shit, maybe I'll try again. So then like I wrote the script and
Fuck yeah, dude.
So
That's
like
what I'm
you-
talking about. That's what I'm
Isn't
talking
that
about.
funny
man.
though? Like whenever you record something, you're like, "Oh man, it's fucking brilliant." And
Yeah.
then you get in there to edit it, and you're like, "God damn it!"
I fucking
Like,
suck.
But
it's
that's the
not. It's
thing is
not what I wanted it to
it's
be.
it's not that it sucks. The problem is that, well, it's not even a problem, but it's just inherent, I think, that you have bigger aspirations. So
Yeah,
you say,
that works.
hey,
Yeah.
we did this, we had so much fun doing it, and it's a little lackluster to me because I want to do better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you're already, the problem is you shoot this product and your expectations are already here, which is a good thing,
Right.
right? Because then your next project you're gonna do that,
Mm-hmm.
and it truly works, man. Because I will say, Dustin, I made Worm, and it was something stupid. We talked to John Campopiano, who did he did
Unearthed and
a
Untold. Yeah.
Unearthed and Untold, correct? Yeah, I fucking love you, dude. Fuck. Um,
You're his new best friend.
and oh, I'm from Maine, so anything Stephen King is my thing.
Yeah.
But he also did Snapper, right?
Yeah.
So Snapper, what's Snapper about? It's literally about a group of friends that tried to create, basically put together a few scenes of a movie that they could film and then send to production companies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they maxed out their credit card back in the 80s, which wasn't a lot, right? And they made like a garage type horror trailer, basically.
Right.
And they wanted to send that to bigger production companies to see if anybody would pick it up, because Jaws was big at the time. Not exactly that time, but that was the last big monster fucking movie. So that was huge. And it was something that inspired me, because it was like, hey, if these people could in the late 80s take whatever they had, make this thing, and then creatively come up with something that was pretty cool, with only what they had. It wasn't like they were going for anybody for money. They didn't have fan funding and all this bullshit. And they made something that was unique to them, and they sent it out, and it got no fucking it just got
Yeah.
nothing, right? Got
Yeah.
nothing, but it's such a cool story, especially for me being from New England. People from New England themselves doing this, right?
Right.
And we had that conversation with John about Snapper, and it was really just promoting his documentary, right? His mini doc, which was phenomenal. And it was like, what if we took whatever we had because nowadays it's like you could film something on your phone
Absolutely.
and it could be cool, right? So like, what if we took that idea and said, hey, let's take the bare minimum of what we could use and just try to come up with something. Do that pressure makes a diamond thing, pressure makes a
Yeah.
pearl thing. Creatively, since you're so limited, what could you make just based on what you have for an idea? And that's how we made Worm. And then we put Worm out, and I was like, we literally spent $100 on Worm. $100.
Right.
Nothing. It was just something that we'd be like, hey, let's just kind of throw it out there and see what the fuck happens. And then people were like, dude, this is fun. This is great. Like, it's shitty. Like, it's shitty.
But they watched it and they dig it.
And they had fun. They had fun
exactly.
watching. They're like, dude, when this happened, I laughed. And I was like, that's such a cool thing. And then some people were like, dude, this could be something.
Mm-hmm.
You're on to something here. These different people. And then what happened, Dustin, was you came along and you messaged me and was like, hey, I don't know if you remember watching Worm or not, but you were like, we're gonna put this on the Discord and shit. And we're gonna spread this. And that was my moment where I was like, oh fuck, like, not did I become a filmmaker, but like, am I on the cusp of like maybe coming up with like a cool idea that like a lot of people would like? And like, not to mention, I had fun doing it.
Yeah.
Could I make something that was even better?
Yes, you can.
And just build off that.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You're a filmmaker, dude. Like, and I like, everybody has imposter syndrome, like, and I struggle with that so fucking hard. And
how's it going, dude? How's it going? Nice to meet you.
I'm over here in the corner. I'm just crying.
Yeah.
But like, you know, that was the whole thing with Drew when when Drew was like, "Hey man,"
when he asked to be,
I
you're like,
wouldn't
oh
mind.
fuck.
Yeah, he goes, "I wouldn't mind being in the movie." And so he goes, "Do you have a part for me?" And I said, "Yes, I do." And I lied because I didn't. And so like
Right.
I have the message and I said, "Yeah, I got a part for you, no problem." And I literally like closed Facebook. I opened up my script and I went exterior night alleyway, and I just fucking like wrote his shit like right then. And I'm like, "Cool, yeah, I have a part for you." But
How fucking cool is that though?
when
That's
he
awesome.
when he was here, dude, like, and like you said, he's one of the most humble people
Mhm.
that you'll ever meet. He doesn't have like an inflated ego. He loves to have fun. He loves to play pretend. And like that's what I consider making movies, is just playing pretend with my friends. I'm not like I have such a hard time being like I'm a filmmaker, but like he was here and we're hanging out and we shot his stuff on Friday night and he didn't have to fly out until Sunday morning. So Saturday, like I bought the UFC pay-per-view because I'm like, dude, I don't know if you like the fights. I know you're from Vegas, but like I know I don't miss fights. Like I'm a fight guy.
Right.
He was like, yeah, I like fights. So like ordered the fights. Were like me and my crew, like, and I say crew, it's like my wife,
Our friends.
Dylan, and you know, Remix, my sound guy, and like we're just hanging out and my kids. And Drew was just like you're one of us, man. Like you can sit at the table, you can sit at the big kids table, like because I look up to Drew and Justin Seaman so much. Justin made the barn.
Yeah,
like,
fuck yeah, dude.
and the thing with the barn is like he wrote that story when he was a kid, and you know, like made it into a movie when he was in high school, and was like, I think I could do better, and then made the barn once he like was grown up and had a wife and you know kids and stuff. And but it's that whole thing of like they like we shouldn't make it, you know, like we're these, you know, we're dreamers, but we're not like rich. We don't have silver spoons in our mouths. Like we can't just get $100,000. We can't just, you know, borrow an Arri Alexa or whatever. Like we can't do these things, but somehow, some way we can still make a movie and like have some fun. But like I wanted to fit in with Justin and Drew so bad. Like, and they're like, you know what? Yeah, like you're rad, dude. You can make a movie. And that like really like motivated me to be like, I'm not going to let this one disappoint me like the first one did, you know? So like we've edited it and then we were like, let's tighten it up. Let's add a scene. Let's do this. Let's do that. So, and now we're like, finally, we're going to wash our hands and walk away from it. We're like, it's as good as it's going to get. So, you know,
How do you feel after that though? Like, do you feel there's another version of Tapehead that you could make, or are you feeling like sequel now? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think Dylan is like, man, I love Tapehead, but like I'm ready to not be a monster, because Dylan can actually act. Like he can actually act his ass off, and it's a shame that I don't give him lines. So
Right.
like I've got the outline for our next project, and I've given him like some pretty big speaking roles. So like that's where we're going next. Is like we had a through line through the Tapehead shorts and in this Tapehead of just like it's a little thing on the side, that Dr. Schlockenstein comic book, which is like my nod to Tales from the Crypt or Creep
Right.
Show. So my next project is going to be Dr. Schlockenstein's Tales of Terror, and it's going to be an anthology.
Oh fuck yeah.
Oh,
So
man.
that gives me the ability to like for 2 days we're going to shoot this short, you know.
a lot of anthologies.
Yeah, big thing.
Notice that?
Same thing with Smitty, man, with Valentine Bluffs. He's doing the same thing.
Yeah. I just feel like that, to me, like I can write like a 15-20 minute short and we can knock it out in, you know, 4 days, you know, 2 weekends or whatever, and then shoot the wraparound stuff. And then the other cool thing about that, which I really haven't talked to anybody about, is the fact that there are guys like you, there are guys like Drew, there my buddy Patrick Ray, who kind of gave me my start in Kansas City, who made like Nail Biter and I Am Lisa, that you know, people make these short films. And it would be super fucking rad to have all of my buddies make short films to put in this anthology, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, it'd be cool, you know, because you can have like Patrick Ray, who's a very like established filmmaker contribute a short, and you can have someone like Drew or Justin contribute a short, and then in between can be like my short and your short, and like, you know what I mean, like, you know,
Right.
so we're like bookended with bigger names. And so that was kind of my idea, is like maybe that helped get like a foot in the door, you know? So that's kind of where my like my wheels are spinning for that now. So
Hell yeah. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
That's
Yeah.
exactly, it's so crazy, man, because that's what me and, every episode we have, we record, and after it's done, we talk with some people here and there, and then me and Taylor, it's basically just us being like, man, like, you know, these certain people are kind of making a ruckus in the scene where, there's just not that much promotion around it.
yeah.
Whereas kind of how me and him kind of got started. I mean, me and Taylor have never met. Like, he's in Tennessee, I'm in
Oh,
Maine.
damn.
We're 24 hours away from each other. We've never met each other, but we have the same
We
like
send each other dick pics every night, though.
Yeah.
So we know what we look like. That's
I do the same thing with my YouTube cohort.
so it's like that like-mindedness of the reason we started it. It was just, hey, let's give people the opportunity to come on and talk.
Yeah.
People who are like us, who respect and enjoy the part of horror that's just not talked about that much.
Right.
Now that's not to
you know-
say that's not to say we don't do trailer reactions or movie reviews, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
We all love all of that, but
Mm-hmm.
so like you were saying, where like I don't think Taylor, correct me if I'm wrong, Taylor, but like I don't think you ever had ambitions of really putting together. Maybe you had ambitions, but you never really thought you were going to put together a short until me and you got talking, I don't think.
I did, but I never had the drive.
Right.
So like until I met you, and now listen to Dustin speak, and just like honestly, you guys are all an inspiration to someone like me. Like, and then we listen to Vincent, we listen to Smith, we listen to Merlot.
Yeah.
You know, we listen to all these people, and it's just like, man, like there's this and this. I want to go here
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
first,
Yeah.
like,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
so like, but what I'm doing is not for anybody, and
Right.
I think both of you can attest to that. Like,
Right.
it's I'm literally just, I want to say I've done this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also writing a book, like, and
Yes.
like John doesn't even know about this.
That's
I
fucked up, dude.
literally, yeah, I know, right? I know what's fucked
Secrets.
up. What was fucked up is that I've been writing it for about 6 months, and I just now let my wife read it, what I have wrote, like 2 nights ago. So like
Nice.
she had no clue I was writing a book. I just want to say I've done it. And,
Exactly.
like that's my thing. Like, yes, like I had an idea. I've wrote one. I sent it to John, actually.
Yeah.
And I hope to God John makes it. Because
It's really good too.
I think it would be a fun one to do. It's creepy, short,
Yeah, he sent me like an outline of a script, which I kind of like because it gives you that free reign as a director of like, hey, I can work all around this fucking thing. I can
Yeah.
go in, out, crossover, fucking out and around on this thing because it's such a cool story, but it's so compact that it's not like this professional script or anything, but it's an idea that he's fleshed out to an extent that I can take and be like, man, this is intriguing as shit. You know what I mean? But that's the difference, is that I think us three can attest to. The bottom line is that type of horror is not getting enough
recognition.
Yeah.
recognition, and there is an audience, and there is people who are willing to watch and listen, and also maybe want to make their own shit.
That's the best thing I could hope for.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
that's my whole thing, is that I want to be an inspiration
Yeah.
for somebody else who is identical to me. Like I don't have fucking shit. Like
Yeah.
I have $30 in this goddamn thing so
Right.
far, and I'm loving every fucking minute of it. So like that's the thing. Like like I'm not saying you guys are whatever, but like you guys have some money into this shit, and kudos to whoever the fuck does that. But I'm not willing to go there, you know. But
Gotcha.
maybe there's somebody else like me, you know. Maybe
Dude,
there's somebody
totally.
like John.
Look
Maybe
at
there's
the
somebody like
well,
Dustin like me.
already look at the line. Already look at the line. Now, Dustin, I don't know who gave you your inspiration as far as someone who pushed you to make. Did you have someone that was like gave you the inspiration to make Tapehead? Maybe not the story, but to pursue actually making a film.
So yeah, that's kind of an interesting story. I was working this shitty like dead end factory job that I'd given like a decade of my life, and I worked with this lady, and she was a nice lady, but like every night I'd be like, I hate it here, and like one day I'm gonna make a movie or I'm gonna go work on a film set. Like that's all I want out of my life. Is I would rather carry hot lights and sandbags or whatever for 16, 17 hours a day than do this. Like I can't stand this. And she was like, you think you're better than us? Like that's the dumbest idea anyone has ever had. And like this factory will be here. Like if you go work on a film set for a week or two, like you're going to get paid and then you'll come back and you'll be broke. But this is a job that's here, And so she was like, she wasn't like trying to like be a dream crusher, but that's like how she was coming across. And
It's just that mindset of people who live
Yeah.
like they have that, like
And
that's all they've done.
and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning because I worked the graveyard shift, and I had my phone out on the factory floor, which you're not supposed to do, but I did anyway. And I thought, well, you know what? I just met this filmmaker in Kansas City named Patrick Ray, and I said, I'm going to shoot this guy a message on Facebook at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, if you're shooting anything, I would love to help. I'll help for free, blah, blah, blah. What's the worst that could happen is he says no. So I send this guy a message, and by the time I get off work at 7 in the morning, I get a message from him, and he's like, dude, yeah, I'm actually shooting like a Hallmark movie if you don't mind. Like if you want to work on a Hallmark movie, not a horror movie, but you're more than welcome. Like, here's the dates. And I drove and worked. I think I worked 4, maybe 5 days on set with him and one of his production assistants, Sav Rogers, and like got to be like in tight with these guys. And like Patrick was absolutely amazing to me. And then Sav also makes films, but just happens to do PA work, and so I worked on a couple of short films with Sav, and they both were like, you can do this, you absolutely can do this. You should give it a go. And it took like 5 years for me to work up the balls to do it, but
Did you have prior experience, or are you just like, fuck,
No.
I want to do this? Like, what's
Yeah.
up?
I know I had zero
Fucking no.
experience. So, and that's what I told him. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, but like, if you need help in any aspect, I'll come do it. And so like a PA, that's like ground, like that's the lowest of the low on a film set. Like, so, Steve needs his water, go grab Steve a water, or, the grips need help moving the lights, grab a fucking light or grab a C-stand or whatever, like help load the truck. We're moving locations, whatever. So like I just did grunt work. And then when I started working with Sav, I was PA on like 2 projects. And then I became key PA, which meant I didn't have to move shit. I just told other people, go ahead and move that. Like, so like that was my job, is to come to the film set and be like, yeah, Joe, go ahead and move that light. Get that. Yeah, that's in the fucking shot. What are you doing? You idiot, or whatever. So like I did that. And then Sav let me do art department, which was fucking rad. So I did art department on a short. And then like I was an extra. And then like I played an abusive dad in one of the shorts. And like I liked all of those things, but I was like, it just kept kind of like pushing me towards like, these are fun, but I want to be creative. So,
That's how it came
Did
about.
you have kids and a wife at the time?
oh yeah, absolutely. This was when, so I met Patrick in 2013, and then didn't like work up the balls to, try to get on a film set. And I think that was 2016. So I worked on a family movie called Belong to Us for Patrick in like 2016 or 2017. And then worked with Sav on a bunch of shorts for like maybe 2 years. And then like kind of backed off of it. And then with our YouTube stuff, like we wanted to, because we were tired of doing reviews and stuff. So we decided we wanted to do a full season of a cartoon series. And Mikey was going to do the animation. And like we had written the scripts. We're going to do like 6 episodes, like 5 minutes a piece. And then like Mikey got depressed. I think me and Evil got depressed. And it's like around the time COVID happened. So the cartoon got scrapped. And that's when we just like kind of condensed the 6 episodes into like a 20-page script so we could make the first Tapehead. And so like we changed it from a cartoon to a short. And that's when I was like, I think maybe I'm a director. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I like this. Like, this is cool. So just kind of a weird like road that led me here. But so primarily Patrick Ray, Sav Rogers, and my man James Balsamo, really, because like James is, I don't know if you guys have ever seen a James Balsamo movie, but they are bananas, and they are like cheap indie, like hardcore. He got his start working for Troma. He used to like body double as Toxic Avenger. And so he makes a bunch of these silly slasher movies or whatever, and I've been killed in like 4 of them. But he's always like, always very encouraging, like, you can make a movie. Like, dude, if I can make a movie, you can make a movie. And like, just, I don't know. And then like my wife, like, just has a blind faith in me. So every time I open my mouth that I want to do something, she's like, okay, when? Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Dude,
That's
fucking awesome,
a good
dude.
partner right there.
And do you see the levels is what I'm talking about. The reason I asked that question is because you see the levels, right? Like,
Yeah.
someone got you into doing what you want to do. So Tapehead's not a thing if that doesn't happen.
Exactly. Yeah.
For you coming forward and being like, dude, we're going to share Worm on our Discord and we're going to do this. To have that even little bit of recognition is something that made me want to keep going and make this new movie I'm making. It said, hey, if he likes, if he at least is interested in what we're doing, like, why not try to do more? So that inspired me.
Yeah.
And then me and Taylor getting together was just a weird fluke of a thing. But then, me and him becoming. Well, what I'm saying is like, we
I'm just joking, John.
Well, I'm saying, but it's true. It's like a weird fluke of we just met each other randomly. It just happened to be like that. And like, now me and him are great friends. And then
I'm just a cheap whore to you, right?
no, but like some of the stuff I have made you've been like, dude, this is fucking sweet. Let me try to put this together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the levels of inspiration is what I'm talking about when it comes to this backyard horror or what we're all trying to make on this really low level of movie making with so much creativity and so much inspiration and good storytelling is I think is worth noting.
Yeah, well, and so like, and here's the thing too, like with Drew, right? Drew made Pool Party Massacre for $7,000 as well.
Yeah.
So like,
What
and
a
if
good
you
movie.
look, and the way that he handles shit, like he PT Barnum's the fuck out of it. Like he's got a fucking great look. He's got a great like booth presence.
Said
like
fuck filming at night.
Yeah, like his.
Said I'm not doing it.
But like his whole shit, like if you were to walk past his booth at a convention, you can't help but stop because he knows the importance of poster art. He knows the, like then having a cool looking table, a cool looking display, and also being personable because.
And the importance of comedy in horror.
Absolutely.
I might add.
You gotta have a little bit of that for sure. And
absolutely. He has a ton of it, dude. And he's one of the best, man.
Yeah, he's the man.
He's so funny and it comes out.
I get what you're saying about being like personable. Like how am I going to word this? with him going to cons and all that stuff, he's selling his product.
Yeah, he is the
So-
brand. Like,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he has to be this person. He's like, hey, and it's probably who he is.
oh
Like,
yeah,
I've never met him in person, but I've talked to him for years.
Yeah,
and-
just by talking when we did,
Yeah, yeah,
even
he
for that
seems
2 hours
like
we
a great
talked,
guy.
is
That's how he
super
is.
personable.
yeah, that's how
Yeah.
he is when there's no camera on. Like, he's just
Yeah,
that's just him. And like, it's important to know, like, you're not just selling your movie. Like, you got to sell your
selling-
passion.
You're
So
selling you.
yeah,
You're selling
like
you. Like
your journey, like and that's like where with us we're a little different, because my wife and I are we're just this like dastardly duo. Like, technically it should say directed by Megan and Dustin Mattson. Like, every decision was ours together. Every like
Have you talked to AMP at all?
I have not.
oh,
should.
dude, we're gonna
You
hook you
should.
guys up. I'll have
You-
we'll have you both on at the same time, man. You
You
would
guys
fucking love these people.
Yeah, you guys
They
have
are
a lot,
so
lot in
fucking
common.
awesome, and they make good fucking movies, dude.
But you also have a shit ton in common, just simply because
Absolutely.
it's a husband and wife duo. Like,
Yeah.
and they fucking do everything.
And they have like this weird balance of like yin and yang, yin and yang, like where
Mm-hmm.
one of them is like a set producer, where like they're or a coordinator, you know what I mean, where they're putting together the sets and the wardrobe and all this stuff, and the other one's writing all the Angie, she's not even a fucking horror fan. You know what I mean? Which brings us wild dynamic to a
Yeah.
horror movie.
What she does, it was what she said. She brings him down. She's like, all right,
Yeah.
let's
Takes
do
him down a
this.
peg or two and said,
So-
"Hey, this is realistic. Like,
Yeah.
fucking relax." You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's so cool. It's such a cool dynamic, dude.
Yeah, you guys
Hell
should
yeah.
you should at least contact them and say, hey, you talked to us. They said, we're a husband and wife duo. You
That's
got
fucking
any
crazy.
advice or anything like that? Like,
Dude,
what's up?
we should start doing that. That's a great idea, Taylor. We should start having people on that are like-minded and have them talk while we just kind of fucking
I just want to listen.
Dude. Well, I'm
just
so
pick their
I'm
brains.
I'm a completely open book as far as everything that has to do with like where I came from and how we made this movie. I won't give you any spoilers, obviously, but like you can ask me any fucking question. I got you. So
Fuck yeah, dude. And I want to make sure we got to wrap it up here pretty soon. We've been
All
going.
right.
We've been
Before
going
we
for
wrap it
fucking
up,
Howard. Hold on, I want to say this. What they're cool, what A&P Films is so good at too is like, I feel like it's just like you, Dustin. Like no one, like maybe you know who they are or their movies, but like they're not like widely spread, and it blows my mind because they're fucking unbelievable. I mean, all their shit's on Tubi, and like,
oh yeah.
their films are fucking sweet, dude. And they just have a very down to earth mentality when it comes to filmmaking.
well, they're just
And
like,
they're willing to
us.
they're willing to share everything, which is cool. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, that's rad.
Yeah.
Before we wrap it up, I want you to can you pick that thing up behind you?
Yeah. Pick them
Oh.
up.
Nope. Get this little bobblehead out of the way.
Who
There
who
it
made the
is.
bobblehead?
Actually, there's some YouTubers that are local, Cyber Skull Media, and they kind of look up to us as well, and they just made that for us and swung by one day, and they're like, "Hey, we made a bobblehead of Tapehead for you."
Hey,
so
hey,
Shout out to Cyber Skull Media and send
Yeah,
them
man.
our way.
send me their information. I'll fucking
Yeah.
get them on.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, so this right here is absolutely gorgeous.
Fucking
Like,
gorgeous,
I
dude.
fucking love this.
you got the
Look at
he's
that.
got the tape holding it
Yeah.
on his head.
Oh my goodness.
Fucking brilliant, man.
Go
And-
go
and-
the go the other side. I want to see the other side too.
And anybody listening while we're showing this, go watch the trailer. This movie's gonna be fucking sweet, man.
All right. So
the
what's
use of
that held
color-
on with?
It's held on with VHS tape stretched out.
But when he wears it, is it like a
It's elastic. There's some elastic hidden in that, so
okay.
it looks just like a tape
So
strap.
that whole thing he puts on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
and you
my
can
goodness.
see out of
That's
that
fucking
eye hole.
beautiful.
And it's
And he wears
fucking
yellow
brilliant, too.
contacts.
It's brilliant. And you have such a 80s style of even
Squonkin' chair.
just promoting it as well. I mean, the colors, I had to say, anybody listening, the colors of this movie are fucking awesome. It's a lot of purple and green and fucking just a whole mess of fucking bullshit in a good way.
Oh,
And
it's great.
it's so fucking sweet, man. And I know you guys got, freedom to film on streets. You
Yeah.
got permits to do that. And
It was wild. So let me say that, like,
yeah,
my hometown, which is Villisca, Iowa, there's one scene we shot there.
middle of nowhere, by the way.
Yeah,
Fucking
which is the
Tornado Alley, right?
axe murder capital of the world is Villisca. It's the most haunted place in the nation, if you believe every haunted fucking show on TV. But to me, it's just a shitty my shitty hometown. But
Right.
we shot a small scene there, and we asked the city, like, okay, so I was born and raised in that town too. We asked the city, hey, could we block off this street so we don't have any through traffic while we're shooting this scene? And they're like, fuck you. Like, I don't care. And so, like, I was like, well, that sucks. And so we had to shoot around traffic and stuff. But when it comes to the town I live in now, which is Shenandoah, Iowa, shout out to them because
Shenandoah.
I went
Shenandoah,
from, like,
Iowa.
I'm some fucking introvert who doesn't go anywhere, doesn't fucking talk to anybody, but my wife is an extrovert and she's a professional photographer, and so everybody in this town knows her. And once we said we're going to shoot the movie here, she was like, well, let's reach out to the newspaper, let's reach out to the city council, and I'm like, no one's going to care. Like, they're not going to care. Look at what happened in my hometown. Like, and she's like, trust me, they're going to care. And like, we got Drew, like, there's a hotel in town. They were like, we'll give him a free room so he can have a place to stay.
Oh shit!
Wow.
Like, we'll let you block off the streets.
How did you pitch that? How did that come about? They didn't know the guy. They were just like,
No, but so that's the deal. Like, we made a folder because the newspaper had done, like, they did like 2 or 3 stories about us, like Mattson family making, slasher film, blah, blah, blah. So we made copies of that. We printed out screenshots of the stuff that we had already shot, and like a synopsis and a cast list and the days that we were shooting. And we took it around town. Like, we took it to the hotel and we're like, hey, we have this actor flying in, needs a place to stay. Is there like a rate? Like, could you give us a discount rate? And they're like, you can have a room for free. So they gave us a room for free, and we're like, holy shit.
wow.
And then we went to like the grocery stores. They donated like 20 pounds of hamburger on certain like
Oh, wow.
shoot days so that we could cook for
Damn.
people. Like, this whole town was like, we got your back, man. Like, the city brought like a big truck and dropped off these, like, 5-foot orange cones so we could block off roads. They're like, just take them, put them wherever you want, and just make sure you take them home so, like, you don't leave the road blocked off like all night or whatever. So, like, yeah, they just let us
Wow.
anything we wanted to do. They were like, hell yeah. And it, like, I'm a very, like, emotional guy. I wear my heart on my sleeve. Like, the whole time we're making this movie, so many things made me cry, where I was like, I cannot believe that anyone gives a fuck about, like, what we're doing, and so
Your story too, like what you're writing, like it's so weird to be like, hey, came from here onto paper, onto fucking film.
yeah,
And now it's becoming something that the world is gonna see. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's nerve-wracking.
That'll make you cry right there, dude.
Well, don't look at everybody and think, fuck, they expect this of me. They
Nah, they shouldn't.
don't have that
It's
imposter
a
syndrome.
creativity that you already
Go
have
into it.
inside
Yeah,
you,
go
dude.
into it saying, hey, this is what I fucking like and what I've edited and what I've filmed and what I've made.
And it deserves all of that.
Yeah, dude, go
That's
into
the
it just being
thing.
like, this is what I fucking like. This
It
is
deserves
me, man.
it deserves
guys.
all of that, dude. And hey, we got to wrap this up. Dustin, we'll talk a little bit after we stop recording here for a second, but
Okay,
I appreciate
Yeah.
I appreciate you joining us, man.
anytime.
I've already made it known that I was super psyched about this episode.
It's like
Super psyched
fangirling
about
out,
you.
man.
I am, man. And I don't even give a fuck. I'm cool with it. Super psyched to have you on, man. Super psyched to just promote Tapehead, and everybody watching. go fucking watch this movie when it comes out. It's gonna be fucking rad. And yeah, we're just excited to promote stuff like this. This is why me and Taylor put Check the Candy together.
It is.
Our passion, stuff we want to, there's stuff that we want to do creatively, and there's stuff that we know that a lot of people like you want to do creatively, and we want to promote that stuff.
Well,
So
there's
just
stuff
really
that we
promotion
want to know as well. So
Yeah.
also what other people want to know
we want to know.
right now, what other people want to know, how do we buy it?
Oh yeah.
Like so I know you've already told us once before. Tell us again. You're gonna set up a link tree to where we can get your Blu-ray, we can get your VHS.
Yes.
Are you releasing it on YouTube?
And festivals, stuff like that. What's going on?
It's going to be in a ton of festivals. We're actually going to do, obviously, the theater in my hometown. We are probably going to do a premiere here. There's some other theaters in Iowa that are interested, and then some places in Kansas City that are interested, and then we'll hit the festival circuit. I'll spend thousands of dollars submitting it to festivals and pray to God that we get accepted, so the money's not wasted. And yeah, we're gonna have a link tree, and we'll have VHS, DVD, Blu-rays, but there is the possibility that it does get picked up for distribution. There is one place in particular that I'm really, really hoping will pick it up. We've had some conversations, and probably tomorrow I'll have the final edit rendered with a watermark so I can, email it over to some distribution places with my fingers crossed. And if they say yay, I'm going to go buy a $12 bottle of wine and some fucking Gouda cheese and be like, we did it. And if they say no, I will go buy the wine anyway. And I'll say, well, I'm going to make the money on my own. So
There you go.
Perfect,
Hey,
dude.
all right.
Yeah,
Perfect.
let's end it, man.
Fingers fucking crossed. Let's all do it at one time.
bam,
Boom.
Hey, that's
I
it.
got it.
All right, like I said, Dustin, we'll talk a little bit after we're done. I want to talk a little bit about the distribution with you for a
sure.
second after we're
Yeah.
done. So, but
I've got to pee.
everybody, yeah, me too.
Go urinate, sir.
Everybody,
Yeah, like if this thing didn't have a hole at the end of it, it looked like a football. Right now.
That's what I was
so-
saying on my ride home. I was like, my dick looks like a water balloon right now. I got to piss so bad. A really
right.
small water balloon, but still, it's cold outside.
Hey, it's all about how you work it, okay?
Damn right.
It doesn't matter about the cold.
All right, everybody, thanks for joining us. We'll see you later, man. Thanks.
Peace.
Deuces.